Once upon a time, in a quiet village surrounded by hills and forests, there lived a clockmaker named Oren Tockwell. He fixed broken clocks and watches in his little shop, where the sound of ticking filled the air. The villagers loved Oren, not just because he was good at fixing things, but because he always told great stories while he worked. One evening, as the sky turned dark and stars began to shine, a mysterious traveler entered Oren's shop. The traveler wore a long, dark blue cloak and seemed very unusual, almost as if he came from another time. He placed an old pocket watch on Oren's table and said, "This watch has traveled through many places and times, but now it's stopped. Can you fix it?" Oren examined the watch. It was beautifully made, unlike anything he had seen before. He even felt a strange warmth coming from it, like it was alive. "I'll do my best," Oren said, curious to see what he could do. As Oren worked, the traveler began telling stories about magical lands. He spoke of forests where trees whispered secrets, cities made of shining crystal, and oceans that were so big they held entire worlds. Oren listened while carefully fixing the gears inside the watch. Hours passed, and finally, the watch started ticking again. The traveler smiled and said, "Thank you, Oren. You've brought the watch back to life. As a gift, I want to give you something special." The traveler pulled out a small carved wooden box. Inside was a beautiful old key. "This key," the traveler said, "opens a door deep in the forest. Beyond that door is a place where time works differently. It's a place of peace and answers." Oren was confused. "Who are you, and why are you giving me this key?" he asked. The traveler smiled. "I am someone who travels through time, visiting places long gone and places yet to come. You fixed this watch, but you've done more than that. You've helped time itself. This key is for you because time has chosen you." Oren looked at the key, feeling its warmth. "Why me?" he asked. The traveler explained, "You understand time better than you know, Oren. Time is not just about clocks ticking. Sometimes time can be changed, and you are someone who can help when time gets stuck or broken. The key is an invitation for you to discover more." Oren was unsure. "What happens if I don't use the key?" he asked. The traveler replied, "If you don't go, your life will stay the same. You'll keep fixing clocks, and everything will go on as usual, but you'll always wonder what's behind that door." Oren thought about it. He felt a pull deep inside, like something bigger was waiting for him. After a moment, he nodded. "I'll go," he said. The traveler smiled, then disappeared into the night, leaving Oren with the key in his hand. The next day, Oren closed his shop early and went to the forest, guided by the key. He walked until he found an old, ivy-covered door hidden among the trees. Taking a deep breath, he unlocked the door and stepped inside. Beyond the door, Oren saw a path glowing with soft, golden light. He followed it and found a giant tree with a wooden house in its branches. Light flickered from the windows, and Oren felt drawn to it. He climbed the steps and entered the house. Inside, he found a huge library filled with rows and rows of books. The smell of old paper filled the air, and a warm fire crackled nearby. At a large table sat an old elf with long silver hair, reading a book. Oren, feeling nervous but curious, said, "Excuse me." The elf looked up, his eyes kind and full of wisdom. "Ah, a visitor," he said. "Not many find their way here." "I'm Oren Tockwell," Oren said. "I found a key that brought me here." The elf nodded. "I am Eldon, the keeper of the books." Oren looked around at all the books. "What are these books?" he asked. Eldon smiled. "These are the stories of every life, past, present, and future. Some books tell tales that have already happened, and some are still being written. But a few," he pointed to a group of old books, "need fixing. Sometimes parts of the stories are missing or broken. That's where you come in." Oren felt a chill. "You mean I can change the future?" Eldon nodded. "Yes. Time is like the gears in your clocks. Sometimes it needs adjusting. You, Oren, have the key to help fix these stories." Oren felt a mix of excitement and fear. "And what about my story?" he asked. Eldon's eyes twinkled. "Your story is just beginning." Oren was quiet for a moment, then asked, "But what if I make a mistake?" Eldon smiled gently. "Time can be fixed, even if mistakes are made. But be careful. The choices you make will affect the lives of others. But don't worry. The key and the stories will guide you." Oren nodded. "How will I know which story to help?" he asked. "The stories will choose you," Eldon said. "When you touch a book, it will call to you. You'll know where you're needed." Oren looked at the endless shelves of books, feeling both nervous and excited. He was no longer just a clockmaker. Now he was something more. A traveler through time, a helper of stories. And so Oren's true adventure began. So friends, our humble clockmaker Oren Tockwell, life has shifted from making and mending timepieces to traveling through time itself. This is just the beginning of Oren's extraordinary journey. From here, Oren will face incredible adventures, unexpected challenges, and unravel mysteries of the past, present, and future. But there's so much more to discover, and many more stories that Oren is going to share with us. So, don't miss out on the tales of wonder, adventure, knowledge, which can we use it in our everyday life and time that are yet to come. Please subscribe to my channel and be the first to join Oren on his upcoming adventures.